Hi, this is Miss Park, and this video is about determining equations of lines algebraically. So we have seen before that we can write an equation of a line in the form y equals mx plus b if somebody gives us a graph, because we can find the b, the y-intercept, and then we can also draw the rise and the run and then figure out the slope, the m. Writing the equations of lines algebraically means you're not given a graph. We are actually given information about the line and not the graph. So to get us there, let's start with this question A, 1A, okay? So this question is asking us to give the equation of the line that passes through this point, negative 6, 1, and has a slope of 1/2. We're going to graph it first and then write the equation. Now, usually when we graph, we are given the equation. From the equation, we find the b, the y-intercept, and that becomes our first point. But that's not the case here. Our first point is the one they gave us, which is negative 6, 1. And then they're saying make a slope of 1/2. So I'm going to rise 1 and run 2. So my next point's here. Rise 1 and run 2. 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 Okay, and keep going as far as you can. Draw the line. Okay, now they gave us a point. They didn't give us the y-intercept, but if I have a graph, I can find the y-intercept. It's right there, right? This is my b. So I can write the equation of this line. Y equals, slope is 1/2, so 1/2 x plus 4, okay, because I can see the y-intercept from the graph. What if I didn't have the graph and they just gave me a point and a slope? So let's go over to blank page and let's do the same question algebraically. So this will be example number 1. Okay, and let's go equation of a line that goes through the point negative 6, 1 and has slope 1/2. Okay, so how do we do this? So the first thing we do is we go to y equals mx plus b. That's probably the easiest form of the line because the slope is visible in there. And we can fill in the slope right away, 1/2 x plus b. Okay? Now every equation of a line has x and y because the equation is a relationship between the x and the y. So for this point, negative 6, 1, to be on this line, the x and y of the point must make the equation true. If the x and y do not make the equation true, do not make the left side equal to the right side, then the point is not on the line. So the fact that they're telling us it's on the line means that I can replace the y with the 1, and I can replace the x with the negative 6, and all I have left to find now is the b. Okay, so I got 1 equals, now 1/2 times negative 6. 1/2 of negative 6 is negative 3 plus b. And I want to isolate the b, so I'm going to add 3 to both sides. And then I get b is 4. So my equation is y equals 1/2 x plus 4. And if you want to just double check, you can put this point negative 6, 1 into the equation, make sure that it's still true. So if I put negative 6 in for x, the y should calculate to 1. Okay, so there you go. Let's do another question. So now I'm going to take you without the grid. So suppose you get another question. This is actually from the homework. This is page, I don't remember what page, let's see what page it is. This is going to be page 12 from the homework, and I'm just going to take some of these. Okay, so let's go page 12 from the homework. Question 4C. So the example we just did is like, it's similar to question 4A. Now we're going to do question 4C. Again, we're going to write the equation of a line that goes through point 3, 2 and is parallel to the line y equals 2x minus 7. Okay, it's parallel to this line. Now, if we go back to when we did this with the graph, okay, there was only one way to draw a line that was going through a particular point and had that slope. There's no other line that goes through the point -6, 1 and has the slope 1/2. So if we know any point on the line and we know the slope of the line, we can figure out the equation of the line. There's no other way to draw this line if it's going through the point and has that slope. So we need a point and a slope. Well, with this question, we have the point and we also have the slope, because if it's parallel to y equals 2x minus 7, therefore the slope has to also be the same as the slope of this line. Okay, so the first thing we can do is we can say m is 2, right? The slope is 2 because it's parallel to that line. And then we'll go y equals mx plus b. We'll fill in the 2. And then we're going to sub the point in. Remember, the point has an x-coordinate and a y-coordinate, and those values need to make the equation true. So I'm going to put in the x and the y. So we'll put a 2 in for the y equals 2 times 3 in for the x plus b. That gives us 2 equals 6 plus b. Subtract 6 from both sides. And I'm left with just b on the right, and so -4 equals b. So my final answer is the equation y equals 2x minus 4. This is question 5a from the same page. 5a asks you to find the equation of a line that's through the point 2, -4, and another point, 7, -19. Okay. Now it's through 2 points. And remember we said to write the equation of a line, we need a point and a slope. I don't have a slope, but I have a point and I have 2 points. So what do you think we're going to do? Well, if I have 2 points, I can calculate the slope. So remember what the slope is to calculate. It's the change in the y's. It's a difference in y's divided by the difference in the x. Or in other words, it's the rise over the run, right? It's the how much the y goes up by how much the x goes up. Well, I don't have a grid, so I can't count the boxes and I can't figure out rise and run by counting, but I can see the difference between the y's. The difference between the y's is if I use the first point as call it first and the second point call it second, then I can go, the difference is the second point minus the first. So that's the difference in the y's. And the difference in the x's is 7 minus 2. Okay, so to find the difference, you just subtract them. And a long time ago, we learned a formula that was x1, y1, x2, y2. If we call those coordinates like that, then the slope is just the difference in the y's. So it's the second y minus the first y over the difference in the x's, which is the second x minus the first x. It doesn't matter to me if you use this formula or not, as long as you know that we're subtracting to find the difference. -19 minus -4 is the same as -19 plus 4. So that's -15. 7 minus 2 is 5. -15 divided by 5 is -3. So I know my slope is -3. So here's my line. Y equals -3x, but I don't know my b. That's okay, because I can sub one of the points. And let's pick which point do we like better. Well, I'll go for the first one. Numbers are smaller. Sub 2, -4. The -4 is the y. The 2 is the x. And now I can solve for b. -4 equals -6 plus b. Add 6 to both sides. And I get b is 2. So therefore, my final answer, y equals -3x plus 2. All right, last example, 5c. It says to write the equation of a line that has an x-intercept of -2 and passes through 2, 7. Okay, it tells you the x-intercept. Well, I mean, if they told us the y-intercept, that would be nice, because then I could write y equals mx plus b and fill in the b. But they're not telling us the y-intercept. They're telling us the x-intercept, which is nowhere in y equals mx plus b. So what we need to remember is that the x-intercept is a point. What are the coordinates of the x-intercept? It sits on the x-axis, and it says it's at -2. So it's the point -2, 0. So therefore, you want the line is going to go through -2, 0 and 2, 7. And this now becomes the same as the previous example where they gave us two points. Okay, so when they give us 2 points, we find the slope between the 2 points, and that gives us our m. We put it into y equals mx plus b. Let me write that over here. We put it into y equals mx plus b, sub one of the points in and solve for the b, and then we have our equation. So it's exactly the same process here, except that instead of giving you the second point, they said it's an x-intercept. That's okay. We know that the x-intercept is a point. All right, so these are not necessarily easy, and it's common to make mistakes along the way. So the more you do of these, the better. Okay, so please practice and ask questions in class, and good luck, and thanks for watching.